Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from West Ham 3, Chelsea 2 in the Premier League. Chelsea are beaten in December in a week where we draw with Manchester United last weekend. We somehow steal a victory at Watford, and then today against the team who are challenging for the top 4, we're beaten. We're beaten by a crazy goal that in any other time, in any other place, in any other stadium, in any other player, if he hits that, it doesn't go in the back of the net. It's unfortunate, it's incredibly unlucky, but overall, I'm going to focus this 6 things we learnt video today. It is a very negative one because obviously we've lost, but I will caveat it by saying it wasn't the worst performance, and I would argue that we were actually twice as good as we were against Watford on Wednesday night, which is ever so slightly weird to say when we go away from just above North London with 3 points and come away from East London with 0. I know that none of us like losing, but if you could like the video today, that would be great. And if you could also subscribe to GBFC, I do this video after every single Chelsea game. We've got green boxes for good, yellow for things that they're kind of in between, could be better, work to improve on, and red is bad. And today's performance overall, I don't think was awful. I think there were definitely things as the game went on where Chelsea kind of looked impotent going forward. We couldn't make that killer pass. We were very reluctant to actually play any kind of decent ball into the final third. And it was something that we struggled to do against Watford because we were struggling to get into the final third. And then today against West Ham, we not only come up against a better team, and we also come up against a very strong team. And I think the key thing towards the end of the game, I kind of gave up thinking we were going to score with about 15 minutes to go when I kept seeing the same crosses over and over again. Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic not actually looking up and seeing what's in front of them. Crowds of West Ham players in the box. Nobody attacking it for Chelsea. Impotent is the way that I would describe that second half performance from us. And then again, incredibly sloppy at the back, which is a weird thing to say considering we've been so good at the back. And this week we concede from open play at Watford and we concede 3. We haven't even conceded 2 in a game this season, and today we concede 3. The third one is wild. I've watched it about 100 times. I have no idea how this ball goes in the back of the net from Masuaku. You could say great goal. It's kind of a bit like Zappacosta against Karabag, but it's gone the wrong way this time and we can't shout and scream about it. I want it out of my mind as soon as we possibly can. But anyway, after a loss, I know you guys don't want to hang around for too long. So we begin with a red. And I've given a red for maybe not the first time ever, but it's certainly the first time this season to Edouard Mendy. I think what he's doing to give away the penalty, sometimes when you're a defender, goalkeeper, if in doubt, kick the bloody ball out. Kick it out for a corner. Toe poke it for a corner. Shin roll it to the corner if you have to. What is he doing? He takes a stupid touch and then, well, he doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Classic Chelsea fan. I'm sat there thinking, that's not a penalty, he wins the ball. As soon as you see the replay, the whole thing just becomes a calamity. It's just awful. And I think, again, even though Jorginho's pass wasn't great, Mendy just needs to do better with that. And then with penalties, has Edouard Mendy, correct me if I'm wrong here, I absolutely love the bloke, and normally he is the saving grace as a wonderful player for Chelsea Football Club. Has he ever dived the correct way when he's had to face a penalty? I don't think he ever has. And that is a serious problem. You know, I'm thinking, should we try and bring on Kepa for this one? Is it worth it? Probably. Maybe not. Manuel Lanzini scores a wonderful penalty. And then the Masuaku goal. Okay, I used to be a goalkeeper, and I'm not trying to give advice here, but what I will say is I think Mendy, even though he does not see this coming, if he takes one more step to the right before diving, it gives him a little bit more momentum to actually make the trajectory to get his hands on the ball in time. I'm not telling the guy what to do for his job, and in that split second, yes, I think if he takes an extra step to the right before making that leap, he would probably save it. And maybe overall, he should have saved it. But still, these 3 goals happen, and sadly for Chelsea, in a massive London derby, we lose a 5-goal thriller as a result of, well, a calamitous penalty to give away, and then a freak goal to wrap it up in the 86th bloody minute of the game. We move into box number 2, and yep, shock horror. Gonna take a sip of my soda water for this one. It's a red box for Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku did not start this game. Kai Havertz started this game. He goes off at half-time with an injury. Yeah, fantastic. You know, might as well stick the whole flipping squad in the hotel blooming hospital at this point. Lukaku comes on, and he didn't do anything. He did absolutely nothing in this game. I wouldn't say he was bullied by the West Ham centre-backs, but the West Ham back line is big, it's strong, and Lukaku didn't impose himself whatsoever. He was not the target man that he needs to be, and in terms of winning the ball and offloading it to a Mount, a Pulisic, a Hudson-Odoi, a Ziyech, I didn't see any of that either. And I think Lukaku, at the end of the day, if he's not ready to be playing, then we just need to keep him injured, because when he came on, I didn't see anything to suggest that he's actually ready to come back in the team. I still fully back Romelu Lukaku. This is obviously a negative video because Chelsea lost. But when you got a nearly £100 million striker coming on, I was excited. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Havertz didn't have a bad half at all. Chelsea were good in the first half, but he didn't do anything. Lukaku, you can argue the point if you like in the comments down below. Of course, I always want to hear your thoughts, and particularly after a loss, things get heated, but try and keep it as cohesive and as moving forward as we possibly can. Lukaku gets a red. We move into one of the only positives, really, to take away from this. Mason Mount scored one of the best goals we will score all season long. Ruben's pass, Hakim Ziyech brings it down. It is a perfect ball from Hakim Ziyech. And Mason Mount's finish, it reminded me of that Van Persie goal that we saw all those years ago for Manchester United. It's just brilliant. You know, when you see it coming over, you're thinking, there's probably not anybody more that I would like this ball to fall to than Mason Mount. And it is the perfect connection on the volley to give Chelsea a 2-1 lead. And this is what makes this even more frustrating, is the fact that we've been so good at guarding leads, be it 1 goal, 2 goals, never looking like we're going to concede. And to be 2-1 up at half-time, I wouldn't even say that West Ham were at their best today. I think it just shows how much Chelsea miss having a full squad. Not here to make excuses, but in the middle, I thought Ruben had a good game. I didn't think Jorginho did. Thiago Silva, I want to give him credit for the goal. I've tried to focus on what I think Chelsea need to do moving forward towards the end of this video. So Thiago Silva doesn't get a box, but his goal was fantastic. The clearance 60 seconds later, magnificent. Thiago Silva today, great, but Mason Mount gets box number 3, and it is a green. We move into box number 4, and I mentioned that I thought Ruben was decent. Jorginho. That is 2 mistakes now that have indefinitely cost Chelsea points in the space of a week that Jorginho has made the mistake for. Ballon d'Or, 3rd place, magnificent. Very, very happy for the man. He arguably deserves it. But the mistake with the back pass to put Mendy in that position to ever even give the opportunity for Mendy to make the mistake in the first place. Jorginho, what are you doing? And at times today, you look at Christensen, Silva, Rudiger. They're looking at Jorginho, who's normally the man who orchestrates the movement within the Chelsea pitch. He wasn't moving. He was static. The defenders were struggling to find him in any kind of pocket of space. And when you've got a world-class player like Declan Rice, Thomas Tuchel, a very good player as well, putting pressure on Jorginho, he needed to change things up. He needed to be quicker. But overall, I cannot say anything other than Jorginho's mistake gives them the penalty, gets them back in the game at 1-0. Chelsea could have cooked on. But no, we get them back in the game with a penalty. Jorginho, I thought today was poor. We move into box number 5, and it's a yellow combination of Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic. And the reason it's a yellow is because I feel like it could be unfair to give them a red because they actually were getting on the ball quite a lot. But the productivity in terms of what they did with the ball, yes, you can argue that Lukaku was like a sitting duck in the middle surrounded by West Ham shirts. But Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic, did they ever look up before they crossed any of those balls in the second half? I don't think they did. I was so angry watching it on the TV thinking, this is the same thing all the time. You're putting in a naff cross, West Ham get it away, there's nobody in there. Try and take them on. Callum, run at them. You got pace, you got skills, you got everything to burn. Just try and take them on at some point. I think Pulisic was also very similar, was getting into decent pockets of space, but didn't have the time to really impose himself in the game, so it's a yellow. I want to see both of them being a bit more bold when they've got the ball. Take on that last defender if you need to. Give it a go. I'd much rather see that. The ball's coming into the box consistently being headed and cleared away from the opposition defenders. But we end box number 5, 6 today. Bloody hell, I hate losing. I absolutely hate it. And it's top spot. It's going to be gone. Liverpool are going to win. Man City are going to win. And the way that this Premier League season goes, is sometimes you can kind of afford to have a little blip. You can afford to have a bad result. The way the Premier League is right now, it is Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and the rest. West Ham are fighting for like the second trophy, which is 4th place. That is the best anyone can do, in my opinion, at this moment in time. And Chelsea cannot afford to drop any points against anybody if we want to win the league. And I have no doubt in my mind that Liverpool are going to win today. Manchester City, they're going to win today too. And instead of sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League, by the end of this weekend, I think we're going to be sitting in 3rd place in the Premier League. And I don't even want to start looking down and thinking only 4 points ahead of West Ham. That's not at the forefront of my mind right now. I don't want us to capitulate here as a fan base after one loss. But there is nothing more frustrating. And I think in this Premier League season, we were lucky against Watford, played poorly. We were poor against United, should have won, need to be winning. And then today we've been beaten. So the last three games, you've had 4 points. And not a single one of those games has actually been a top quality performance. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you worried? Or I'm worried. I'm not going to lie. We can't be losing games like this. Even if we draw, it's not the end of the world. But we got to be winning these if we want to win the Premier League. But anyway, let me know the 6 things you learned from West Ham 3, Chelsea 2 in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the like button. Even if it's just to make my bloody day. It's no beers. It's soda waters for me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go on, you Blues.